Hey there. Tonight, we are going to walk into the court of a king who wanted everything and destroyed everyone to get it. You probably know the rhyme. Divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. It sounds like a nursery rhyme, doesn't it? Innocent, simple. But the reality is a story of obsession so deep it tore a country in half. We are going to look past the famous portraits of the fat, angry old man. We are going to find the golden boy who turned into a monster. We are going to witness the moment a game of courtly love turned into a death sentence. We are going to smell the perfume that masked the scent of blood and touch the cold silk of the executioner's mask. If you find a strange sense of peace in the heavy silence of history, if walking through the ghosts of a dead court helps you let go of your own day, then go ahead and gently leave a like and subscribe to join us in the shadows. Now, let the noise of the modern world fade away. Look around your room. It is safe here. The doors are locked. The shadows are just shadows. Turn off the light. Let the darkness wrap around you like a heavy velvet cloak. Lie down. Feel the mattress rising to hold you. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Unclench your jaw. Take a deep breath in, filling your lungs with the cool, quiet air, and out, letting the tension drain out of your body like water flowing downhill. You are drifting back through the centuries, back to a time of candlelight and stone. We are going to London, to the year 1522. It is March. The air is cold and damp, smelling of river mud and coal smoke. We are standing outside York Place, the magnificent palace of Cardinal Wolsey. But we are not staying outside. We are going into the warmth, into the Chateau Vert. Imagine the sensation of stepping out of the cold night and into a wall of heat. The great hall is blazing with light, not the harsh, electric light you are used to. This is the living, breathing light of 1,000 beeswax candles. Flicker, flutter, glow. The light is soft, golden, and unstable. It makes the shadows dance on the high, hammer beam ceiling. Smell the air. It is thick. It is heavy. It smells of roasted meats, venison, swan, peacock that have been served hours ago. It smells of hippocras, a spiced wine warmed with cinnamon, ginger, and cloves. The scent is intoxicating, sweet and sharp at the same time. And underneath that, the smell of bodies, perfume, musk, rosewater, sweat masked by heavy velvets. You are standing in the corner of the room, invisible, watching. Tonight is Shrovetide, the last night of revelry before the fasting of Lent, and Cardinal Wolsey has prepared a spectacle. Look at the center of the hall. There is a castle, not a real castle, but a prop, a magnificent, elaborate stage set made of wood and painted canvas. It is painted green, the Chateau Vert, the green castle. It has towers. It has battlements. It is covered in real ivy, draped in satin. And on the towers of this marked castle stand 8 women. They are the most beautiful women in England. They are dressed in gowns of white satin, rustle, shimmer. Imagine the texture of that satin. Cool, smooth, slippery under the fingertips. They are wearing headbands, embroidered with gold thread. Each headband bears a name, a virtue, beauty, honor, perseverance, kindness. They are posing. They are still as statues, but you can see them breathing. You can see the rise and fall of their chests under the heavy fabric. They are waiting for the siege. Suddenly, the doors of the great hall burst open. Bang! The sound echoes off the stone walls. A group of men rushes in. They are dressed in short coats of blue and gold satin. They wear masks, but everyone knows who the leader is. He is the tallest. He is the broadest. He moves with a terrifying, athletic grace. He is the king, Henry VIII, But tonight, he is playing a game. He is playing the role of Ardent Desire. He leads his men towards the castle. They are carrying baskets of oranges and dates, strange weapons for a siege. They pelt the castle with fruit. Thump, splat, roll. The oranges hit the wooden walls. They bounce off the satin. The air fills with the scent of bruised citrus, sharp, acidic, fresh. It cuts through the heavy smell of the musk. The ladies on the tower laugh. It is a polite, courtly laughter. Tee-hee, tee-hee. They defend the castle with rose water. They pour vials of scented water down onto the attackers. Imagine the king, laughing, his face wet with rose water, smelling of flowers and sweat. It is a game. It is innocent. Or so it seems. Henry climbs the mock battlements. He is strong. His hands grip the wooden frame. You can see the muscles in his forearms bunching under the gold cloth. He reaches the top. He captures the ladies. He takes the hand of one lady in particular. She is wearing a mask, but he knows her, or perhaps he doesn't know her yet. Perhaps this is the moment. Her headband reads, Perseverance. She is Anne Boleyn. Look at her hand in his. His hand is large, calloused from hunting, warm, powerful. A king's hand. Her hand is small, long-fingered, cool. He leads her down from the tower. The music changes. The lutes begin to play. Pluck, strum, hum. A slow, courtly pavane. Henry bows. Anne curtsies. The heavy fabric of her dress pools on the floor like a puddle of milk. They begin to dance. Let's slow this moment down. Let's freeze time right here. March 1st, 1522. The king and the lady are circling each other. Step, slide, bow. Step, slide, turn. He looks into her eyes through the slits of her mask. Her eyes are dark, black, they say, like deep pools of water at midnight. They are intelligent. They are calculating. They are terrified, maybe a little. He is enchanted. He feels a pull in his chest, a tightening. It is not love yet. It is ardent desire. The role he is playing has become real. He doesn't know that this dance will tear his kingdom apart. He doesn't know that to marry this woman, he will have to break the church, kill his friends, and rewrite history. He just knows that she smells of orange blossoms and mystery. He squeezes her hand. Squeeze. She squeezes back, just a little. A challenge. Perseverance. The word hangs in the air between them. Around them, the court fades away. Wolsey in his red robes, smiling, thinking he controls everything. He doesn't know he is watching his own doom. Queen Catherine, perhaps watching from a balcony, her face shadowy, her heart heavy with the knowledge of aging. They are all ghosts now, but in this moment, under the golden candlelight, they are vibrant. They are alive. The music swells. The lute strings vibrate in the humid air. Feel the rhythm of the dance in your own body. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It is a hypnotic rhythm. The swishing of the satin. The soft thud of velvet shoes on the floorboards. Swish, thud, swish, thud. Henry spins her. The world spins with them. The Chateau Vert looms in the background. A green monster covered in ivy. It is a gilded cage, and they are all inside it, dancing towards the edge of a cliff. But tonight, there is no blood, only wine, only fruit, only the soft, dangerous promise of tomorrow. Let the image of the spinning dancers fade. Let the music slow down, slower, slower, until the lute plays one final, vibrating note. And silence returns to the hall. The candles burn low. The wax drips. Drip, drip, drip. The shadows lengthen. Henry releases her hand. The connection breaks, but the heat remains. Let that heat warm you now. Not the heat of passion, but the warmth of the fireplace. The warmth of the story. You are safe in the observation deck of history. You can leave them there. You can let them dance into the darkness. Drift away from the masquerade. Drift back into the quiet of your own mind. We are going to go deeper, past the man, past the king, to the boy, to the beginning. The music of the masquerade fades into the distance. The laughter of Anne Boleyn dissolves into the mist of time. We are traveling backward, back before the divorce, back before the crown, back to a time when Henry was not the king, when he was just the spare, the second son. We are going to the year 1494. It is Halloween, All Hallows Eve, but we are not in a spooky graveyard. We are in the chapel of the Tower of London, or perhaps Westminster. The records are dusty, the ink faded, but the feeling is clear. Imagine a small boy. He is 3 years old. His hair is bright red gold, like a new copper coin. His cheeks are round. He is Henry, Duke of York. He is standing in a great stone hall. It is cold. Stone floors always hold the cold, no matter how many fires are lit. He is shivering slightly, not just from the cold, but from the awe. He is about to be made a knight of the bath. This is not a simple tapping of a sword. This is a ritual, a transformation, and for a 3-year-old boy, it is a sensory overload. Let's walk through it with him. First, the bath. Imagine a wooden tub lined with linen sheets to protect the royal skin from splinters. The water is warm, scented with herbs, rosemary, hyssop. The boy is stripped of his clothes. He steps into the water. Splash. The warmth embraces him. It is a womb, a second birth. The king, his father, Henry VII, is there, a stern man, thin-faced, miserly with his smiles. But tonight, he is gentle. He dips his hand into the water. He pours it over the boy's shoulder. I dub thee. He makes the sign of the cross on the boy's wet back. The water runs down Henry's spine. It feels holy. It feels serious. The boy looks up at his father. He sees the heavy gold chain around the king's neck. He sees the weight of the crown. He thinks, I must be pure. I must be clean. I must be a hero. This is the seed of the obsession. Henry VIII spent his whole life trying to be the perfect knight he was promised to be in this bath. He is lifted out of the water. He is dried with rough, warm towels. Rub, rub, rub. The friction on his skin wakes him up. He is not put into pajamas. He is put into a robe, a hermit's robe, russet wool, scratchy, heavy. It is the robe of a man who lives in the woods, a man of God. Why? To teach him humility. Before you are a prince, you are dust. The boy doesn't understand the theology. He just feels the scratchy wool against his clean skin. He is led to the chapel. It is night now. The chapel is dark, lit only by the altar candles. The smell of incense is overwhelming. Frankincense, myrrh, the smell of secrets. He has to keep the vigil. He has to stay awake, or at least pretend to. Imagine the silence of a cathedral at 3 a.m., the vast, echoing emptiness, the stone statues of dead kings looking down from the walls. Their eyes seem to move in the flickering candlelight. Henry kneels on a cushion. His knees hurt. His eyes are heavy. He is 3. He wants his nurse. He wants his bed, but he stays. He watches the flame of the candle flicker, dance, flicker. He listens to the chanting of the monks nearby. Gregorian chant. Low. Drone. The sound vibrates in the stone floor. It vibrates in his chest. He is entering a trance state, the border between sleep and waking. In this twilight state, the stories he has been told come alive. King Arthur, Camelot, Lancelot. He imagines himself in shining armor. He imagines killing dragons. He imagines rescuing ladies. He doesn't know yet that the dragon is inside him. He doesn't know that the damsels will need rescuing times from times him. Morning comes. The light streams through the stained glass windows. Blue, red, gold, painting the stone floor in pools of color. The boy is dressed again, this time in silk, in velvet, in the colors of the Tudors, green and white. He is led to the great hall. He rides a horse. Can you imagine a 3-year-old on a war horse? Well, maybe a pony. But in his mind, it is a destrier, a massive beast. The horse's coat is warm. It smells of hay and leather. The saddle creaks, creak, shift, creak. He rides through the hall. The court is watching. The nobles, the ladies, they are cheering. Hail, hail. The sound washes over him like a wave. He loves it. He craves it. This is the drug he will chase for the rest of his life. Adulation. He reaches the king. He slides off the horse. He kneels. The sword, the great sword of state. It is huge, heavy, cold steel. The king lifts it. It glints in the morning light. A flash of silver. Whoosh! It comes down. It touches the boy's shoulder. Tap. Not a cut. A weight. A heavy, metal kiss on the shoulder blade. Arise, Sir Henry. The boy stands up. He feels taller. He feels invincible. He is a knight. He looks at his brother, Arthur. Arthur is there. Older, taller. The heir. Arthur is the sun. Henry is the moon. Arthur is the future king. Henry is just the spare tire, the backup plan. But in this moment, Henry feels like the hero. He has the sword. He has the bath. He has the vigil. He believes in the fairy tale. He believes that if he follows the rules of chivalry, he will be good. And for a long time, he was. He was the Golden Prince. Handsome, athletic, musical. He wrote songs. He played the lute. He wrestled. He was the hope of the Renaissance. But deep down, in the memory of his skin, there is still the scratchy wool of the hermit's robe. There is still the cold water of the bath. There is still the fear of the dark chapel. And there is the shadow of Arthur. Arthur, who would die. Arthur, who would leave Henry alone with a crown that was too heavy for him. Arthur, whose widow, Catherine, Henry, would marry. The ghost of the brother would haunt the marriage bed for 20 years. You have taken your brother's wife, the Bible would whisper in Henry's ear. You shall be childless, but that is later. For now, let's stay with the boy, the clean, knighted boy, standing in the shaft of colored light in the cathedral. He is tired. The vigil is over. His eyelids are drooping. The ceremony ends. He is carried back to the nursery. He is stripped of the silk and the velvet. He is put into his soft linen nightshirt. He is tucked into a bed with feather pillows. The fire in the nursery hearth is crackling. Pop, hiss, crackle. The warmth is sleepy and deep. The nurse hums a lullaby. Lulay, mine liking, my dear son, my sweeting. Henry closes his eyes. The sword is gone. The crown is gone. He is just a child, drifting, floating, safe. Let yourself float with him. Forget the tyrant he became. Forgive the boy he was. Feel the softness of the feathers. Feel the warmth of the fire. The history book is closing for the night. The heavy leather cover slams shut. Thud. Dust motes dance in the air. Silence settles over the palace. The guards are at the door. The stone walls are thick. Nothing can hurt you here. You are protected by the past. Drift deeper, down into the velvet dark, down into the quiet of the centuries. Sleep. We leave the nursery. We leave the innocent sleep of the 3-year-old boy. Time flows forward like a river, swelling after the rain. 17 years dissolve in the mist. The boy is gone. The spare heir is gone. The stern father, Henry VII, is dead. The old king lies in his tomb, his hands folded over his chest, his lips sealed forever on his secrets. It is the year 1509. It is June, the height of summer. The sun hangs directly overhead, turning the city of London into a crucible of light and heat. We are entering the era of the Golden King. Henry VIII is 18 years old. Imagine him. He is not the bloated tyrant of the paintings. Not yet. He is magnificent. He is over 6 feet tall, towering over his courtiers. His hair is the color of burnished copper. His skin is fair, glowing with health and the arrogance of youth. He is the most beautiful prince in Christendom. And today, he is getting married. And today, he is becoming a god on earth. Let us slow down the morning of the coronation. It starts in the Tower of London, not in the dungeons, but in the royal apartments. The king is being dressed. This is not simply putting on clothes. This is the vesting. It is a ritual of transformation. Listen to the silence of the chamber, only the sound of breathing and the rustle of fabric. Swish, rustle, smooth. The servants move like ghosts. They are terrified and awed. They bring the shirt. It is made of the finest linen, white as snow, soft as water. It touches the king's skin. Feel that sensation. The cool, clean fabric sliding over the shoulders. Then, the doublet. It is made of cloth of gold, real gold, beaten into thread, woven into silk. It is heavy. When they lower it onto his shoulders, he feels the weight of the wealth of England. It is stiff. It resists movement. It forces him to stand straight, to stand like a statue. They fasten the buttons. Click, click, click. Buttons made of diamonds and rubies, each one a cold, hard kiss against the fabric. Then, the robe, crimson velvet, lined with ermine. The fur is soft, white, speckled with black. The velvet is deep, swallowing the light. It smells of cedar chests and lavender. Henry looks in the mirror. He does not see a boy. He sees an icon. He sees the reflection of his own divinity. He smiles. It is a smile that will one day freeze the blood of his wives. But today, it is just dazzling. Now, the procession. We are moving from the Tower to Westminster. The streets of London are paved with gravel and mud. But today, they are hidden. They are covered in tapestries. Imagine walking on a carpet of wool and silk that stretches for miles. The houses are hung with banners. The crowds are pressed against the wooden barriers. Thousands of people. But we are going to mute the sound. Turn the volume knob down. The cheering is not a noise. It is a vibration. It vibrates in the cobblestones. It vibrates in the horses' hooves. It is the sound of the ocean. The sound of adoration. Henry rides a horse, a white charger. The horse is caparisoned in gold damask. Henry sits easily. He is a master horseman. He looks to his side, and there she is, the bride, the queen, Catherine of Aragon. Let us pause and look at her. History often paints her as the old, sad woman. But today, she is 23. She is in the bloom of her beauty. She has strawberry blonde hair, hanging loose down her back, a cascade of red gold. She wears white, the color of virginity, a claim she holds to fiercely, despite her first marriage to Arthur. She sits on a litter carried by 2 white horses. She looks serene, but look closer at her eyes. They are blue. They are Spanish eyes, but they hold a deep, quiet resolve. She is praying, even now, amidst the noise and the gold. She is praying, Ave Maria, gratia plena. She believes this is her destiny. She believes God has saved her from the widow's grief to place her on this throne. She loves Henry. She loves him not just as a king, but as the young, handsome boy who saved her from poverty. She smells of roses. Not the wild English rose, but the dark, damask rose of Castile. A heavy, sweet, spicy scent. It wafts through the air, mixing with the smell of the horse sweat and the incense from the censers swinging in the street. Henry looks at her. He feels a swell of pride. She is a prize. She is the daughter of great monarchs, Isabella and Ferdinand. By marrying her, he conquers Spain. By marrying her, he proves he is a man, not just Arthur's little brother. He reaches out his hand. He cannot touch her across the distance of the horses, but the gesture is there. A promise. I will keep you, the gesture says. A promise he will break. But not today. We arrive at Westminster Abbey, the stone forest. The air inside is cool, damp, and old. It smells of centuries of wax and dust. The stained glass windows filter the summer sun into pools of red, blue, and violet light on the stone floor. Henry walks down the aisle. His footsteps echo, clack, clack, clack. He approaches the altar. He kneels. The Archbishop of Canterbury is waiting. The oil, the holy oil of chrism, it is thick, it is fragrant. The Archbishop dips his thumb. He anoints the king on the hands, on the chest, on the head. Feel the sensation of the oil. It is warm. It is greasy. It seeps into the pores. It is the seal of God. From this moment on, Henry believes he is chosen. He is not just a political leader. He is God's deputy. His will is heaven's will. If he wants a divorce, surely God wants it too. If he wants to kill a traitor, surely it is God's justice. The oil seals his ego into a shell of divine right. Then, the crown, St. Edward's crown, solid gold, encrusted with sapphires, rubies, pearls. It weighs nearly 5 pounds. The Archbishop lifts it high. It glints in the candlelight, a heavy golden halo. He lowers it, heavy. It settles on Henry's brow. The metal is cold against his skin. The velvet cap inside is warm. The weight presses down on his neck. He has to stiffen his spine to hold it. The weight of England, the weight of Scotland, the weight of France. In his dreams, he does not buckle. He stands taller. God save the king. The shout fills the vaulted ceiling. It rolls like thunder. Henry looks out at the sea of faces. He feels invincible. He feels immortal. He takes Catherine's hand. They sit on their thrones, the king and the queen, the gold and the rose. It is a perfect picture, a fairy tale ending. But every fairy tale has a shadow, and the shadow is waiting in the wings. Let the golden light of the coronation fade. Let the cheers drift away into silence. We are moving forward. Just a few days. The honeymoon is over. The reality of ruling begins. We are in a small room in the Tower of London, or perhaps a private solar in Greenwich. It is quiet here. The only sound is the scratching of a quill on parchment. Scritch, scratch, scritch. Henry is sitting at a desk. He is still wearing velvet, but he has taken off the crown. He looks at the paper in front of him. It is a death warrant. 2 names are written on it. Richard Empson, Edmund Dudley. Who are they? They were his father's men, tax collectors, lawyers, the men who filled the royal treasury by squeezing the nobles dry. They were loyal servants to the old king. But the people hate them. The nobles hate them. And Henry wants to be loved. He wants to be the opposite of his father. His father was miserly. Henry will be generous. His father was feared. Henry will be adored. And the easiest way to be adored is to kill the men everyone hates. He holds the quill. Look at his hand. It is a young hand, strong, unblemished. It hovers over the paper. Does he hesitate? Maybe for a second. He thinks of the men in the dungeon. He thinks of the cold stone walls of the tower. the damp straw, the fear in their eyes. They have served the crown, but they are the rusted sword. They are the old tools, and a new king needs new tools. He dips the quill in the ink. The ink is black, glossy, like liquid night. He presses the nib to the paper. Henry, Henry Rex, Henry the King. The signature is bold, flourished. With that stroke of the pen, 2 hearts will stop beating, 2 heads will roll on the straw. He puts the pen down. Clack. He leans back in his chair. He feels a strange sensation. Power, not the symbolic power of the crown, but the real, visceral power of life and death. He can snuff out a life as easily as pinching a candle. He looks at his finger. There is a smudge of ink on it. He rubs it. It smears. It looks like a bruise or a drop of dried blood. He wipes it on a cloth. He stands up. He walks to the window. He looks out at the River Thames. The water is gray and slow. It flows towards the sea, carrying the waste of the city, carrying the secrets of the palace. He feels no guilt. He feels clean. He has tidied up. He turns away from the window. He calls for his musicians. Play, he commands, and the lute begins to sing, sweet, melancholic music to drown out the silence of the death warrant. But the ambition does not sleep. Henry is not content to just sit and sign papers. He has a dream that haunts him, the dream of Agincourt, the dream of Henry V. He wants to be a warrior king. We are going to enter the war room of his mind. Imagine a large oak table covered in maps of France, Calais, Boulogne, Paris. The names are like magic spells. Henry traces the coastline with his finger. He smells the parchment. It smells of dust and dried skin. He imagines the smell of gunpowder, sulfur, charcoal. He imagines the sound of the cannons. Boom. Not a scary sound, a glorious sound. He wants to ride out in armor. Imagine the armor. Steel plate, polished until it shines like silver. It is heavy, 50 pounds of metal, but he is strong. He can carry it. He imagines the visor snapping shut. Clang! The world narrows to a thin slit of vision. He is a tank, an unstoppable force. He wants to take France. He wants to be the king of 2 nations. He looks at the map. He sees the channel, the strip of blue water separating him from his glory. He needs ships. He needs the Mary Rose. Imagine the shipyard, the smell of raw timber, the smell of tar, hammer, saw, the skeleton of a great ship rising from the mud. Henry watches it grow. He loves the ship. He loves the guns. He loves the potential times of violence. He is a boy playing with toy soldiers, but the soldiers are real men, and the toys bleed. He turns to Catherine. She is sitting by the fire, sewing. "I will give you France," he says. She looks up. She smiles. But her eyes are sad. She knows war. Her mother, Isabella, was a warrior queen. She fought in armor. She knows the dirt, the blood, the waiting. "Give me a son first," she thinks. But she does not say it. She just nods. "You are a great king, my husband." Her voice is soft, soothing. It calms him. He sits at her feet. He rests his head on her lap. The Golden King and the Spanish Queen. The firelight dances on their faces. Orange, red, shadow. Outside, the night is dark. The Tower of London is silent. The heads of Empson and Dudley are gone. The straw has been changed. The world is turning. The wheel of fortune is spinning. Right now, Henry is at the top. He has the crown. He has the girl. He has the power. He thinks it will last forever. He thinks he is the sun, and the sun never sets. But we know the truth. We know about the clouds gathering on the horizon. We know about the rust that will eat the sword. We know about the womb that will not quicken. But for tonight, let him have his dream. Let him sleep in the golden illusion. And you can sleep too. You are not a king. You do not have to sign warrants. You do not have to conquer France. You just have to breathe. Feel the heaviness of the velvet robe falling from your shoulders. Drop the weight. Feel the crown being lifted from your head. Lift. Release. Your head is light. Your neck is free. You are just a person lying in a bed. The maps are rolled up. The ink is dry. The candles are blown out. Puff. Darkness. Quiet. Peace. The river Thames flows on. Slow, deep, endless. Drift on the river. Drift past the palace. Past the tower. Past the ships. Drift into the open sea of sleep. The golden age is a dream, and you are the dreamer. Sleep. The ink on the death warrants has dried. The map of France has been rolled up and put away. We are moving forward. 11 years have passed since the coronation. The boy king is now a man of 29. He is in his prime. He is a golden lion, broad, strong, bursting with vitality. It is the summer of 1520. We are leaving the damp, grey fog of London. We are crossing the English Channel. Imagine the fleet, great wooden ships with sails of painted canvas, cutting through the blue waves. They are carrying not an army of soldiers, but an army of peacocks. The entire court of England is moving. The wealth of the nation is packed into trunks. Velvet, silk, plate armor, tapestries, wine. They are landing in Calais, the English foothold in France. But they are not staying in the fortress. They are riding out into a valley, the Val d'Or, the Golden Valley, located between Guines and Ardres, the no-man's land between the English and French territories. It is June. The earth is dry. The grass is yellow, scorched by the sun. The crickets are singing a frantic, high-pitched song. Ree, 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 ree. The heat is visible. It rises from the ground in shimmering waves, distorting the horizon. And rising out of this heat is a miracle, a city, but not a city of stone, a city of fabric, a city of illusion. This is the field of the cloth of gold. Let us slow down and walk through this temporary metropolis. It was built in weeks, but it looks like it has stood for centuries. Look at the tents. There are thousands of them, but these are not the rough canvas tents of a battlefield. These are palaces made of thread. They are covered in cloth of gold. Imagine the texture. Real gold wire, beaten flat, wound around silk threads, and woven into fabric. It is stiff. It is heavy. It is metallic. When the wind blows, the tents do not flap. They times bring asterisk. Sh, shing, sh, shing. A metallic rustle. The sun hits them. Flash. The valley is blinding. It is a sea of molten gold rippling in the heat. If you look at it too long, your eyes water. It is too much. It is excessive. It is magnificent. Walk closer. Touch the fabric of a tent. It is warm to the touch. It holds the heat of the sun. You can feel the ridges of the gold wire under your fingertips. It smells of heated metal and expensive dye. Tyrian purple, crimson, azure. This is Henry's camp, and in the center of it, he has built something impossible. A palace, a temporary palace, as big as a cathedral. It is made of timber, covered in canvas, painted to look like brick and stone. But the windows, look at the windows. 5,000 square feet of glass. In 1520, glass is rare. Glass is precious. But Henry has built a palace of light. The sun streams through the clear panes, illuminating the tapestries inside. The roof is made of oiled silk, painted with gold stars. It creates a perpetual twilight inside. a golden underwater glow. Walk inside. The floor is covered in rushes, not straw, but sweet-smelling herbs. Meadowsweet, lavender, rosemary. When you step on them, they release their scent. Crush, release, inhale. The air is heavy with perfume. It is a sensory trap, a labyrinth of luxury, designed to make you forget the world outside. And now, the wine. Walk into the courtyard. There is a statue, a Bacchus, or perhaps a Cupid. It is standing on a pillar, and from the base of the pillar, liquid is flowing, not water. Wine, red wine, claret, white wine, malmsey. It gushes out into 3 silver basins. Gurgle, splash, foam. It is free for everyone, for the nobles, for the servants, for the peasants who have walked miles to see the spectacle. Imagine the smell, the heavy, fermented, sweet smell of warm wine. It attracts the bees. Buzz, buzz. They hover over the red sticky puddles on the ground. People are drinking. They are scooping it up with cups, with helmets, with their hands. Slurp, swallow, laugh. The wine stains their lips red. It stains their shirts. The whole valley is drunk. Drunk on sun, drunk on gold, drunk on wine. It is a collective hallucination, a fever dream of peace. Henry wants to show his rival, King Francis I of France, that England is rich, that England is powerful. He is shouting it with gold. Now, the meeting. The moment the 2 suns collide, Henry rides out from his camp. Francis rides out from his. They meet in the middle of the valley. Let's freeze this frame. Look at Henry. He is wearing a doublet of silver cloth, ribbed with gold. He is wearing a bonnet of black velvet, with a feather and a ruby the size of a pigeon's egg. He is riding a Neapolitan courser, a massive horse, draped in velvet. The horse is sweating. The king is sweating, but they look magnificent. Look at Francis. He is tall. He has a long nose. He is elegant. He wears satin and pearls. They ride towards each other. The drums are beating. Dum, 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 dum. The trumpets sound. Blare. A wall of sound. The horses stop. Snort. Stomp. Silence falls over the valley. Thousands of people hold their breath. Will they fight? Will they embrace? The 2 kings dismount. Thud. They walk towards each other. They open their arms. They embrace. It is a performance. It is theater. But for a moment, the armor clashes. Clink. Gold touches gold. They kiss each other on the cheek. The crowd erupts. Hurrah! Vive le roi! The sound rolls up the sides of the valley like thunder. Peace, or at least the illusion of peace. They walk together into a tent of gold cloth. The flap closes behind them. The world exhales. For 2 weeks, the party continues. It is a blur of excess. Jousting. Imagine the tilt yard. The ground is covered in sand to soak up the sweat and the blood, if there is any. The horses thunder down the lists. Gallop, gallop, gallop. The lances strike the shields. Crack. Splinters of wood fly into the air like confetti. But the lances are hollow. They are designed to break. It is a mock war, a dance of violence. Henry rides. He breaks lance after lance. He is strong. He is skillful. He wants Francis to see his power. He wants the French ladies to swoon. He takes off his helmet. His face is flushed. His red hair is plastered to his forehead. He looks up at the stands. Queen Catherine is there. Queen Claude of France is there. They smile. They wave. But underneath the smiles, there is boredom. There is heat exhaustion. The ladies are fainting in their heavy velvet gowns. The smell of the crowd is getting stronger. The wine is turning sour in the heat. The illusion is starting to fray at the edges. And then, the wrestling match. A moment of raw ego. Henry is drunk, not just on wine, but on adrenaline. He turns to Francis. "Brother," he says, "I will wrestle you. It is a breach of protocol. Kings do not wrestle. It is undignified." But Henry is young. He believes he is invincible. He strips off his doublet. He stands in his fine linen shirt and hose. Francis does the same. They grapple. Feel the sensation of the skin. Sweaty, slippery, hot. The friction of the linen. The strain of the muscles. Henry is stronger. He is a bull, but Francis is quicker. He is a leopard. They grunt. They twist, strain, shove, grip. Henry tries to throw Francis, but Francis uses a trick. A Breton trip. He hooks Henry's leg. He pushes. Henry falls. Thud. The King of England is on his back. In the dirt. The crowd gasps. Silence. A dangerous silence. Henry's face turns red. Dark red. The humiliation burns him more than the sun. He scrambles up. He wants to fight again. "Rematch," he growls. But the courtiers intervene. "Dinner is served, Your Majesty. The Queen is waiting." They pull them apart. They smooth over the crack in the golden mirror. But the crack is there. Henry smiles. But the smile does not reach his eyes. The golden haze has turned a little gray. He has lost, and he will never forget it. The Brotherhood is a lie. They are rivals. And this valley, this golden valley, is just a stage for their jealousy. The summit ends. The party is over. The tents must come down. This is the most melancholic part. The dismantling. Watch the workers taking down the cloth of gold. They pull the pegs. Creak. Pop. The magnificent structures collapse. They fold the fabric. It is dusty now, stained with wine and grass. They pack the crystal glasses into crates. They dismantle the fountains. The wine stops flowing. The bees disperse. The temporary palace is taken apart, plank by plank. Within a few days, the valley is empty. Just a field of trampled, yellow grass. Patches of mud where the wine was spilled. A few lost buttons glinting in the dirt. The wind blows through the empty valley. Whoosh! It kicks up the dust. The mirage has vanished. Henry rides away. Back to Calais. Back to England. He is quiet. He leaves behind the gold. He takes with him the memory of the fall. The peace treaty they signed? It is worthless. Within a year, England and France will be at war again. The cloth of gold was just a bandage on a gaping wound. But Henry doesn't know that yet. Or maybe he does. He rides towards the coast. He looks at the sea. The cool, gray, honest sea. He is tired of gold. He is tired of French perfume. He is tired of smiles. He wants something real. He thinks of Anne Boleyn. She was there, at the field, watching, learning. She saw him fall. Does that make her love him less? Or does it make him more human to her? He doesn't know. He just knows that the hunger is back. The hunger for something he cannot buy with gold. The hunger for a son. The hunger for control. Let the image of the golden valley fade. Let the shimmering heat dissolve into the cool night air of your room. The tents are gone. The kings are dust. The gold has been melted down and minted into coins that are long lost. It was all a dream, a fever dream of the Renaissance. You are not in the valley. You are here. Feel the coolness of your pillow. It is not made of gold wire. It is soft cotton. It is better than gold. It allows you to rest. You don't have to wrestle anyone. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to build a palace to show your worth. You are enough. Just breathing. Just being. The wine fountain is dry. The thirst is quenched. The silence of the empty valley surrounds you. Peaceful, desolate, quiet. The crickets are still singing. Re. But they are far away. Drift away from the field of the cloth of gold. Drift back to the simple, gray, comforting fog of sleep. The king is sleeping. On his ship, the waves are rocking him. Rock, 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 rocking you. Safe, quiet, gone. The golden tents of France are gone. The wine has evaporated. The summer is over. We are back in England. We are back in the stone labyrinth of Greenwich Palace. It is winter. The year is 1525, or perhaps 1526. The years are blurring together into a long, gray tunnel of waiting. Outside, the River Thames is frozen at the edges. Sheets of gray ice grind against the stone embankments. Crackle, grind, shh. The sky is low and heavy, pressing down on the turrets of the palace like a lead lid. Inside, the fires are lit in the great hearths. Logs of oak and ash are burning. Pop, hiss, crumble, but the heat does not reach the corners of the rooms. The corners are cold, the corners are full of shadows, and in those shadows, a fear is growing. It is not the fear of war. It is not the fear of plague. It is the fear of silence. The silence of the nursery. The silence of the womb. Henry is now in his mid-30s. The golden youth is fading. His waist is thickening. His face is growing broader. The first lines of anxiety are etching themselves into his forehead. He is a king without a son. He has a daughter, Mary, a bright, serious little girl with the Tudor red hair. But a girl cannot rule England, or so he thinks. History will prove him wrong, but he cannot see the future. He needs a boy. He needs a Henry IX. Without a son, the dynasty dies. Without a son, the wars of the roses will return. Blood will flow in the streets. This thought keeps him awake at night. It sits on his chest like a goblin. Let us enter the king's private chamber. It is late. The court has gone to sleep. The corridors are empty, save for the guards standing like statues in the gloom. Henry is alone. He is sitting at a desk made of dark, polished walnut. A single beeswax candle burns in a silver stick. Flicker, drip. The flame casts long, dancing shadows on the tapestries. The figures in the tapestries, hunters, stags, mythical beasts, seem to move. They seem to mock him. Henry is reading. He is not reading poetry. He is not reading reports from his generals. He is reading the Bible, the Latin Vulgate. It is a heavy book, bound in leather that smells of age and sanctity. He turns the pages, rustle, crinkle, turn. The sound is loud in the silent room. He is looking for an answer. He is looking for a reason. Why has God cursed him? He considers himself a good man, a religious man, defender of the faith, the Pope called him. So why are his cradles empty? Why do his sons die before they can take their first breath? His finger traces the lines of text. It stops at Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 21. If a man shall take his brother's wife, it is an impurity, or they shall be childless. The words seem to burn on the page. Childless. Henry freezes. The cold from the stone floor seeps up through his velvet shoes. He married Catherine, his brother Arthur's widow. He got a special dispensation from the Pope to do it. He thought it was legal. But what if the Pope was wrong? What if God is angry? What if his marriage, his 18 years of marriage, has been a sin, a dirty, incestuous sin? The thought blooms in his mind like a black flower. It explains everything. The stillbirths, the dead princes, the silence. It is not bad luck. It is divine punishment. He closes the book. Thud. The sound echoes like a gavel striking a judge's bench. He leans back in his chair. He feels a strange mixture of horror and relief. Horror, because he has lived in sin. Relief, because it means times it is not his fault, asterisk. It is not that his seed is weak. It is not that he is incapable. It is the law. And if the marriage is the problem, then the marriage can be fixed or ended. He blows out the candle. Puff. The smoke curls up, gray and thin. It smells of extinguished hope. He sits in the dark, and in the dark, he begins to plan. Now, let us move down the hallway to the Queen's apartments. The air here is different. It smells of beeswax, lavender, and dry rose petals. It is the smell of preservation, the smell of something beautiful that is slowly fading. Queen Catherine is awake too. She is 40 years old. Her strawberry blonde hair has turned to a dull gray gold. Her figure has thickened with age and sorrow. She is kneeling at her prie-dieu, prayer bench. She is praying, Ave Maria, gratia plena. Her voice is a whisper, a rustle of dry leaves. She holds a rosary, beads of amethyst and gold. Click, click, click. The rhythm of the beads is the rhythm of her life. Endurance, patience, faith. She knows. She knows the king does not come to her bed anymore. She knows the whispers in the court. She knows about the Bible verse. But she also knows the truth. She knows she was a virgin when she married Henry. She knows her marriage is true. She prays not for herself, but for him. She prays for the madness to pass. She stands up. Her knees crack, creak. She walks to the window. She looks out at the frozen gardens. The topiaries are covered in frost, like ghosts in the moonlight. She feels the cold draft coming from the window frame. It chills her bones. She wraps her shawl tighter around her shoulders. She looks at the bed, the great 4-poster bed, hung with curtains of crimson damask. It looks like a stage where no play is being performed. It is empty. It is cold. She climbs in. The sheets are icy. She lies on her side. She curls up. She occupies only a small sliver of the vast mattress. The space beside her is a desert. She closes her eyes. She dreams of Spain, of the Alhambra, of the sun on the orange trees, of the warmth. But when she wakes, she is still in England, and the winter is getting colder. Now, let us go to a different part of the palace, or perhaps a different house entirely, Durham House, or Hever Castle. The energy here is different. It is electric. It is nervous. It is dangerous. We are in the room of Anne Boleyn. She is not a queen yet. She is a lady in waiting. But she is the center of gravity in the court. She is sitting by the fire. She is holding a letter from the king. Let us look at the letter over her shoulder. The paper is expensive, thick, creamy rag paper. The handwriting is familiar. It is Henry's, but it is not the bold signature of the death warrant. It is cramped, small, anxious. He hates writing letters. He usually makes his secretaries do it. But for her, he writes with his own hand. Written with the hand of your servant and friend. He calls himself her servant, the King of England, a servant. She traces the ink with her finger. She can feel the texture of his desperation. He is begging. He is begging for a sign of affection. He is begging for her love. He complains of the strucken deer that is his heart. Anne reads it. Her face is unreadable. She has the dark eyes that Henry saw at the masquerade, the black eyes that act as a mirror, reflecting his own desires back at him. She is playing a high-stakes game. She knows the history. Her sister, Mary, was the king's mistress. Mary was used and discarded, left with nothing. Anne will not be Mary. She will not be a mistress, queen or nothing. She folds the letter. Crease. Fold. Crease. The sound of the paper folding is sharp, decisive. She puts it in a wooden box. Clack. She does not write back immediately. She waits. She lets the silence grow. She knows that silence feeds obsession. She picks up her lute. She plays a chord. Plung. It is a dissonant chord. Unresolved. Tension. She waits for the king to resolve it. Back to Henry. The obsession is consuming him. It is not just about lust. It is about salvation. He has convinced himself that Anne is the solution to everything. If he marries Anne, God will be happy. The curse will be lifted. He will have a son. The golden age will return. He projects all his hopes onto her slender shoulders. He needs to write to her again. He sits at his desk. He takes a fresh quill. He sharpens it with a small knife. Scrape, scrape, slice. The sound of the knife on the quill is aggressive. He dips the pen. He writes, "My mistress and friend." He pours his heart out. He offers her titles. He offers her wealth. He offers her his soul. He draws a heart on the paper. He draws a circle around the initials A, B. It is the doodle of a teenage boy, but it is drawn by the most powerful man in England. He seeks to bind her. He folds the letter. He lights a stick of sealing wax, red wax, the color of blood, the color of the cardinal's robes. The wax melts. Drip, sizzle. A drop of hot, red liquid falls onto the paper. It looks like a wound. He presses his ring into the wax. The royal seal, the rose, press. The wax hardens. It seals the secret inside. He hands it to a messenger. "Ride," he says. "Do not stop. Do not sleep." The messenger runs. The sound of boots on the stone floor. Thud, 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 fading into the distance. Henry is left alone again. He walks to the mirror. He looks at his reflection. He sees the gray hairs in his beard. He sees the fear in his eyes. "I must have a son," he whispers. "I must." The word hangs in the air, a command to the universe. But the universe does not obey kings. There is one boy. We must not forget him. Henry Fitzroy, the king's illegitimate son, with Bessie Blount. He is 6 years old. He is healthy. He is strong. He looks like Henry. He is the proof that the king is a man. Henry looks at the boy running in the garden. Laugh, shout, run. The boy is full of life. Henry loves him. But it is a bitter love. Why? Henry thinks. Why does the bastard live and the prince die? Why does the sin prosper and the sacrament fail? It confirms his theory. The marriage to Catherine is the problem. He decides to elevate the boy. He makes him Duke of Richmond. Imagine the ceremony. A small boy, kneeling, just as Henry knelt. A heavy coronet placed on a small head. Robes of velvet, too big for his shoulders. It is a rehearsal, a shadow play. This is what I could have, Henry thinks. This is what Anne will give me. He looks at Fitzroy and sees a ghost of the future. He doesn't know that Fitzroy will die young too. He doesn't know that tragedy is woven into his DNA. He only sees the hope, the illusion. The winter drags on. The snow falls. Hiss. Silence. It covers the palace. It covers the gardens. It covers the river. The world is white and gray. Henry waits. Catherine prays. Anne calculates. The tension is building, like the ice on the river, pressing against the stone. Something has to break. The pressure is too great. The king's great matter has begun. It is not a legal case. It is a fever. It starts in the mind of the king, but it will spread to every church, every village, every home in England. But for now, it is just a whisper in a cold room. It is just the sound of a pen scratching on paper. Scritch, scratch, rewriting the laws of God, rewriting the laws of men. Let the sound of the pen become a rhythm. Scritch, scratch, scritch, scratch. It is hypnotic. It is the sound of history being written in the dark. Let yourself sink into that rhythm. You are safe from the ambition. You are safe from the cold. You are warm in your bed. The letters are folded. The wax is cool. The king is tired. He rests his head on his arms. He sleeps at his desk. The candle burns down to a stub. Flicker. Sputter. Out. Darkness claims the palace. The only sound is the wind howling around the chimneys. A lonely, mournful sound. Drift on the wind. Drift away from the court. Drift into the deep, snow-muffled silence of the night. Sleep. The ink is dry. The die is cast. Sleep. The letters have been sent. The wax is hardened. The whispers in the dark corners of Greenwich have become a roar that spans a continent. We are moving from the private anxiety of the king to the public spectacle of the court. It is the year 1529. The month is June, but it does not feel like summer. Inside the great hall of the Blackfriars Priory in London, the air is cool, damp, and heavy with the scent of old stone and judgment. We are entering the Legatine Court. This is the theater where a marriage will be dissected. This is the place where the Middle Ages will end and the modern world will begin, born in the tearing of a sacrament. Let us slow down time and walk into the hall. Step, echo, step. The floor is covered in matting to muffle the footsteps of the powerful. The walls are hung with tapestries of gold and silk, depicting biblical scenes, justice, Solomon. But the air is thick with dust. Dust motes dance in the shafts of light coming from the high, narrow windows. Dance, drift, settle. Look at the stage. There are 2 chairs of state, one for the king, one for the queen, and raised above them, like judges at the gates of heaven, sit 2 cardinals. Cardinal Wolsey, the butcher's son who became the master of England. He is wearing scarlet robes. Swish, rustle, the silk is heavy. It whispers of power, but Wolsey's face is gray. He knows that if he fails to give Henry this divorce, he is dead. Beside him sits Cardinal Campeggio, the Pope's envoy. He is old. He has gout. He moves slowly, wincing with every shift of his weight. He has been sent from Rome with secret orders. Delay, delay, delay. The Pope is afraid of the Emperor, Catherine's nephew. The Pope is afraid of Henry, so he offers only time. The hall is packed. Bishops in rochets, lawyers in black gowns, the nobility of England. They are silent. It is a silence so deep you can hear the scratching of the scribes' pens. Scritch, scratch, scritch. They are writing down the death of a dynasty. Henry, King of England, come into the court. The crier's voice booms. Here, says the king. His voice is loud, confident, but there is a tightness in his throat. He is gambling his soul. Catherine, Queen of England, come into the court. Silence. Then, movement. Catherine rises from her chair. She does not answer the cardinals. She ignores them. She ignores the authority of the court. She walks. Step, step, step. She walks past the bishops. She walks past the lawyers. She walks straight to the king. She kneels. Imagine the sound of her heavy velvet skirts hitting the floor. Thud. Rustle. The whole room holds its breath. She looks up at him. This is the woman he has been married to for 20 years. The woman who has shared his bed. The mother of his dead sons. She speaks. Her voice is not loud. It is accented with the soft, rolling vowels of Spain. Sir, I beseech you, for all the loves that hath been between us. She pleads for justice. She pleads for pity. She swears before God and the court that she was a virgin when she married him, that Arthur never touched her. I take God to be my judge. The words hang in the air like smoke. Henry looks down at her. Does he feel shame? Does he feel a flicker of the old love? He stares straight ahead. He has hardened his heart. He has turned himself into stone. He helps her up, but it is a formal gesture, a cold hand helping a stranger. Catherine turns. She bows to the king, and she walks out. She does not stay for the judgment. She walks out of the court, out of the room, out of Henry's life. Walk, walk, walk. The sound of her footsteps fading away is the sound of the old order leaving. The cardinals call her back. Catherine, Catherine. She does not turn. This is no court of justice, she whispers to her servant. She is gone. The trial continues. The lawyers argue. The Latin flows like a dry river, but the spirit has left the room. The great matter has become a farce. Weeks pass. The dust settles deeper. Finally, in July, Campeggio stands up. Everyone waits for the verdict. I adjourn this court, he says. It is the summer holiday in Rome. A holiday. Henry's face turns purple. The delay. The endless, suffocating delay. He storms out. Wolsey stays behind. He sits in his chair. He looks at his hands. He knows. The game is over. The king's patience has snapped. The great break has begun. Now, let us follow the fall of Wolsey. It is not a sudden execution. It is a slow dismantling, a slow-motion disintegration. Wolsey is stripped of his titles. He is stripped of the Great Seal. He is stripped of his palace, York Place, which Henry will take, rename Whitehall, and give to Anne. We are watching Wolsey leave his palace. It is a foggy morning on the Thames. The river is a ribbon of white mist. Wolsey steps onto his barge. Creak, splash. The boat rocks. He looks back at the palace he built, the brick towers, the gardens. He leaves it all behind. He travels upriver to Esher, a small, damp house. He sits there in the winter, without his robes, without his servants, without his power. He is just an old man, shivering by a smoky fire. He writes letters to Henry, begging, pleading, my most gracious sovereign. But Henry does not answer. Henry is busy. He is busy reinventing England. Wolsey falls ill. The stress eats him from the inside. He starts the long journey north to York, but he never makes it. He stops at Leicester Abbey. Knock, knock. The monks open the gate. Wolsey falls off his mule. He is dying. Father Abbot, he says, I am come to leave my bones among you. He is carried to a simple bed. The velvet is gone. The gold is gone. There is only the coarse linen of the monastery sheets. He lies there, listening to the bell, tolling for vespers. Dong, dong, dong. He whispers his final regret. Had I but served God as diligently as I have served the king, he would not have given me over in my gray hairs. It is the epitaph of a man who worshipped a mortal idol. He dies. Exhale. The breath leaves him. The ambition leaves him. He is buried in a simple grave. The king does not come to the funeral. The king is already looking at the next victim, or rather, the next tool. Thomas Cromwell, the man of iron. Thomas Cranmer, the man of books. They step into the vacuum. They whisper the solution Henry wants to hear. If the Pope will not give you a divorce, then fire the Pope. Make yourself the Pope of England. The idea is radical. It is terrifying. It is brilliant. Henry listens. He likes the sound of it. Supreme head of the church. It fits him. It fits his ego. It fits his need. We move to the year 1533. The break with Rome is complete. The bridges are burned. Henry has cut the anchor chain that bound England to the continent for 1,000 years. The ship of state is drifting into unknown waters. But Henry doesn't care about the theology. He cares about the pregnancy. Anne Boleyn is pregnant. She has given him what Catherine could not, a child. And the astrologers, the doctors, the witches, they all say the same thing. It is a boy. It is a prince. Henry is ecstatic. He has won. God has finally smiled on him. He must marry her. The child must be born legitimate. Imagine the secret wedding. It is January 25th, 1533. It is before dawn. The sky is pitch black. We are in a small turret room in Whitehall Palace. It is cold, so cold that breath hangs in the air like fog. There are only a few people present. Henry, Anne, 2 witnesses, a priest. It is hurried. It is clandestine. Anne wears a dress of dark velvet. She looks triumphant. Her black eyes are shining. She touches her belly. The golden prize is inside. They say the vows. I, Henry, take thee, Anne. The words are whispered. They are stealing a marriage in the dark. The ring is placed on her finger. Slide, fit. It is done. She is queen. In secret. Now, the coronation. It is June 1st, 1533. Whitsunday. Anne must be crowned before the baby comes. She is 6 months pregnant. Her belly is swelling under her robes. She travels from the Tower to Westminster. But this procession is different from Catherine's. There is gold, there is velvet, there are pageants, but there is something missing. The sound. The crowd is silent. They stand in the streets, sullen and resentful. They loved Catherine. They hate the concubine. They refuse to take off their hats. They refuse to cheer. It is a silent procession. The only sounds are the horses' hooves and the creaking of the litter. Clack, creak, clack, creak. It is eerie. It is ghostly. Anne sits in her litter. She is wearing white cloth of gold. Her hair hangs down, black and long. She smiles, but her smile is fixed, rigid. She sees the faces in the crowd. She sees the hatred. She feels the coldness of the people. They mock me, she thinks, but she lifts her chin. She has the perseverance of the masquerade. She enters Westminster Abbey. She sits in Street Edward's chair, the same chair Henry sat in. Cranmer, the new archbishop, anoints her. He places the crown of Street Edward on her head. It is heavy, too heavy for a woman. It slips slightly. She has to balance it. God save Queen Anne. The choir sings. The nobles shout, but the echo is hollow. She is queen, but she is a queen on an island of ice. She touches the crown. It feels cold. She touches her belly. It feels warm. The boy, she thinks, the boy will fix everything. When I give him a son, they will love me. She holds on to that hope. It is her lifeline. September comes. The summer is over. The leaves are turning brown. The air smells of apples and wood smoke. The queen takes to her chamber, the lying in. The windows are hung with heavy tapestries to block out the light and the world. The room is a womb within a womb. Warm, dark, quiet. Henry waits outside. He is pacing, step, turn, step, turn. He has prepared the celebration. A massive tournament. A fountain of wine. A proclamation announcing the birth of the prince. The letters are already written to announce the birth of our prince. He waits. He listens. He hears the cries of labor, pain, effort, scream. It goes on for hours. And then, a different cry. The high, thin wail of a newborn. Wah, wah, the sound of life. Henry stops pacing. His heart hammers. Thump, 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 thump. The door opens. The midwife comes out. Or perhaps it is a noblewoman. She looks terrified. She curtsies low. She cannot meet the king's eye. Your Majesty, she whispers. Well? Henry demands. The prince? It is a healthy child, Your Majesty. A boy? Silence. The silence stretches out. It fills the corridor. It fills the palace. It fills the world. It is a girl. A girl. The words hit Henry like a physical blow. He staggers back slightly. A girl. After the divorce. After the schism. after the executions, after the turmoil. A girl, God, has mocked him again. The curse is not lifted. It has just changed shape. He pushes past the woman. He walks into the birthing chamber. The air is thick with the smell of blood and sweat. Anne is lying in the bed. She is pale, exhausted. She looks at him. Her eyes are wide with fear. She knows. She knows that her safety depended on a boy. In the cradle, wrapped in purple velvet, lies the baby. Henry looks down. She has red hair, a tuft of red gold fuzz. She has his eyes. She is crying, lusty, strong cries. She is alive. She is healthy, but she is the wrong sex. Elizabeth, they will call her, named after his mother. Henry looks at the baby. He does not feel love. Not yet. He feels a crushing, suffocating disappointment. He feels the gilded cage closing in. He turns away. He cancels the tournament. He cancels the wine. He takes the letters announcing the prince. He picks up a pen. He adds an S to the word prince, making it Prince's S. The S is squeezed in. An afterthought. A mistake. He signs it. His hand is heavy. He walks out of the room. He leaves Anne alone with her daughter. The shadows in the corners of the room seem to lengthen. Anne holds the baby. "Hush," she whispers. "Hush, my little one." She knows the clock has started ticking. She has failed the one test that mattered. The executioner's sword is still far away, 3 years away, but in the silence of that room, you can almost hear it being sharpened. Shh, shing, shh, shing. Let the scene fade. Let the disappointment dissolve into the mist. The baby Elizabeth is sleeping. She doesn't know she is a disappointment. She doesn't know she will be the greatest monarch England has ever seen. She just knows she is warm. Focus on that warmth. The warmth of the cradle. The warmth of potential. Even in the shadow of the king's anger, life continues. History takes the long view. Henry sees a failure. We see a Gloriana. We see the future. But for tonight, let's stay in the quiet aftermath. The palace settles down for the night. The king drinks alone. The queen sleeps the sleep of the exhausted. The baby breathes. In, out, tiny, rhythmic breaths. Match your breathing to hers. So small, so steady, so enduring. The river of history flows on, carrying the broken hearts and the secret victories. You are safe on the bank of the river, watching the water flow. The great break is over. The fracture is made. Now, we must live in the new world. But that is a task for tomorrow. For now, there is only the velvet dark, the soft sheets, the peace of the bystander. Sleep, drift, dream of a crown that is light as a feather. Sleep. The baby Elizabeth is sleeping in her cradle. But outside the nursery, the world is changing. Henry has declared himself supreme head of the church. He has broken with Rome, but a declaration is just words on paper. To make it real, he must break the physical connection. He must break the monasteries. For 1,000 years, the landscape of England has been dotted with abbeys, priories, and convents. Fountains, Revolks, Glastonbury, Tintern. They are the anchors of the countryside. They are cities of God. Imagine them, great stone structures rising out of the mist in the valleys of Yorkshire. The sound of bells ringing every 3 hours. Dong, dong, dong. The sound of chanting. The smell of beeswax and brewing ale. The smoke of the kitchens feeding the poor. They are the libraries, the hospitals, the hotels of medieval England. And Henry looks at them and sees only one thing: gold. He sees lead on the roofs. He sees bells to be melted into cannons. He sees land to be sold. He needs money. He needs to pay for his wars, his palaces, his new court, and he needs to destroy the Pope's army of monks. So he sends out his man, Thomas Cromwell, the hammer of the monks. Cromwell sits in his office in London. He does not need to visit the abbeys to destroy them. He does it with a ledger. He sends out his commissioners, men with cold eyes and ink-stained fingers. They ride north. Gallop, gallop, gallop. The hooves of their horses strike the old Roman roads. They arrive at a monastery. Let us say, Revolx Abbey. It is a beautiful place. Cistercian, austere, pure. The monks meet them at the gate. The commissioners do not pray. They count. They count the chalices. They count the vestments. They count the sheep. And then the order is given. Dissolve. It is a soft word for a brutal act. Let us watch the dismantling. It is slow, methodical. First, the relics, the bones of saints, the pieces of the true cross, the vials of blood. They are taken out into the courtyard. They are smashed, crack, shatter, dust. The gold reliquaries are melted down. The bones are thrown into the fire. Then, the windows, the stained glass, the Bible of the poor. Blue, red, emerald green. Stones are thrown. Hammers are swung. Crash, tinkle, shards. The colored light that filled the church for centuries is gone, replaced by the gray light of the English sky. Then, the roof. This is the most valuable part. The lead. Men climb up onto the high roofs. They build fires times on times the roof to melt the lead sheets. Hiss, drip, molt. The molten lead runs down the gutters like silver tears. It is collected in pigs, ingots, heavy, toxic, valuable. Without the roof, the rain comes in. Patter, patter, patter. It falls on the altar. It falls on the tiled floor. The wood rots. The stone crumbles. The library is looted. Books that took years to copy by hand are torn apart, used to clean boots, used to wrap fish, used to light fires. The knowledge of centuries goes up in smoke. The monks are turned out onto the road. Old men who have known only the cloister. Young novices who have known only prayer. They are given a small pension, if they are lucky, and told to go. Imagine them walking away, looking back at their home. It is a skeleton now, a ruin. The wind blows through the empty arches. Whoosh! It sounds like a hollow flute. The silence of the abbeys begins. It is a silence that will last for 500 years. The birds move into the choir stalls. The ivy creeps over the altar. The bare ruined choirs where late the sweet birds sang. But the north does not go quietly. The people of Yorkshire and Lincolnshire love their abbeys. They love the old ways. They love the old faith. They see the king's men destroying their world, and they rise. It is the autumn of 1536, the pilgrimage of grace. It is not a rebellion. It is a walk. Imagine the scene. 40,000 men, peasants, lords, priests, monks. They gather on the moors. The wind is biting. The heather is brown and dry. They do not carry a flag of war. They carry the banner of the 5 wounds, a white banner with the red wounds of Christ. They march, tramp, tramp, tramp. It is a soft sound. They are walking on grass and mud. They are led by a lawyer, Robert Askey, a man with one eye, a man of principle. He believes that if he can just talk to the king, if he can just show the king the mistake he is making, the king will listen. He believes in the good king. He thinks Henry is just being misled by Cromwell. Oh, Robert. Poor, naive Robert. They march south. They take York. They take Pontefract Castle. They are an unstoppable force. They outnumber the king's army 4-1. They could take London. They could end the Tudors right here. But they stop at Doncaster Bridge. The River Don is swollen with rain. On the other side stands the Duke of Norfolk, the king's general. Norfolk has only a few thousand men. He is terrified, but he is cunning. He rides out to the bridge. He meets Aske. "We will talk," Norfolk says. "The king hears you. The king loves you. Go home. Lay down your weapons. We will have a parliament in the north. We will discuss your demands. You have the king's pardon. It is a lie, a beautiful, diplomatic, poisonous lie." Aske believes him. He takes the piece of paper, the pardon. He turns to his army. "Go home," he shouts. "We have won. The king has listened." The 40,000 men cheer. They tear off their badges of the 5 wounds. They disperse. They drift back to their farms, back to their villages. The army melts away like snow in the spring. Robert Aske goes to London. He is invited to court. He meets Henry. Henry is charming. He smiles. He embraces Aske. "My faithful subject," he says. He gives Aske a velvet coat. He listens to Aske's complaints about Cromwell. He nods. Yes, I see. It is a performance. The greatest acting of Henry's life." Aske leaves London, thinking he is a hero. He rides back north, but the trap is already sprung. A few minor skirmishes break out in the north, unrelated to Aske. Just angry men who didn't trust the truce. But it is enough for Henry. "They have broken the peace," he roars. The pardon is void. He unleashes the sword. Norfolk rides north again. This time, not to talk, to hang. Martial law. The king's orders are specific. "You shall cause such dreadful execution to be done upon a good number of the inhabitants, hanging them on trees, quartering them, setting their heads and quarters in every town." The retribution is terrible. Monks are hanged from their own bell towers. Lords are beheaded. Peasants are strung up in their own gardens. And Robert Aske, he is arrested. He is brought back to York. It is July 1537, the height of summer again. He is dragged through the streets on a hurdle. He is taken to Clifford's Tower. He is not beheaded. That is too quick. He is hanged in chains. Imagine the horror. He is lifted up in a cage of iron chains, suspended from the castle wall. He is left there to die of thirst, to die of exposure, to die of the sun. He hangs there for days. The people of York watch. They watch their leader, the man who trusted the king, slowly turning in the wind. Creak, clank, creak. The chains rustle. Aske does not curse the king. He prays until his voice fails, until he is just a silhouette against the summer sky. It is a message. Do not touch my power. Do not question my will. The north is broken. The silence returns. But it is a different silence now. It is the silence of fear. The abbeys are empty. The monks are dead or scattered. The pilgrimage is over. Let us drift over the landscape of northern England. It is winter again. The snow falls. It covers the ruined abbeys. It covers the roofless nave of Fountains Abbey. It creates a white blanket over the stone arches. It looks beautiful, peaceful, like a painting. The snow covers the grave of Robert Aske, wherever his bones ended up. It covers the blood on the village greens. Hush, hush, hush. The snow muffles everything. History is being buried. The medieval world is being buried. Henry sits in his palace in the south. He is rich. He has the gold from the reliquaries. He has the lead from the roofs. He has crushed the rebels. He feels secure. But is he? He is eating. He eats hungrily. Venison, pastries, wine. He is getting heavier. The athletic frame is padding out. The leg, the jousting injury, is starting to throb. He feels a twinge. Pain. It is a small pain now. But it will grow, just as the silence of the abbeys grows. He has destroyed the places of prayer. Who will pray for his soul now? The monks who chanted for the souls of kings are gone. The chantries are closed. He is alone with his God, and his God is starting to look a lot like himself. Angry, jealous, vengeful. Let the image of the ruined abbey fade. Imagine the stone arches standing against a starry sky, like the ribs of a giant beast picked clean. The wind blows through them. It plays a melody, a requiem. You are standing in the ruin, but you are not cold. You are an observer. Feel the peace of the ruin. There is a strange comfort in things that have fallen. The struggle is over. The roof is gone. The sky is let in. Nature is reclaiming the stone. Moss grows on the pillars. Ferns grow in the cracks. It is a return to the earth. The ambition of men crumbles. The earth remains. Let that thought soothe you. Your ambitions, your worries, they are temporary. They will crumble too, and that is okay. What matters is the peace that follows. The snow falls softly on your face, cool, gentle, melting instantly. You are walking away from the ruin, walking back to your own time, back to your warm bed. The bells are silent. The chanting has stopped. There is only the sound of your own breath. In, out, consistent, reliable, alive. You are here. Henry is history. Ask is history. The monks are history. You are the living. Enjoy the warmth of your blood. Enjoy the softness of your pillow. The night is long. The snow is deep. But you are safe. Sleep. Sleep in the silence of the snow. Sleep. The snow has melted from the ruins of the abbeys. The bodies of the rebels have been taken down from the gibbets. The silence of fear lies over England, but in the court, the noise is returning. It is the year 1536, a year written in black ink in the history books. It begins with a fall, not a political fall, a physical one. January 24th, Henry is jousting. He is 44 years old. He is heavy. He is armored in steel plate that weighs as much as a man. He rides his great destrier. He charges. Thunder, thunder, thunder. The opponent strikes him. Henry falls. Crash. The earth shakes. The armor clangs against the hard-packed sand of the tilt yard. But he does not get up. And then the horse falls. The massive, armored beast collapses on top of the king. Crunch. The air leaves the stadium. Thousands of people stand up. Silence. For 2 hours, the King of England lies unconscious. He is dead. Or he is sleeping. Or he is somewhere in between. His brain is rattling inside his skull. The frontal lobe, the seat of reason, of patience, of kindness, is bruised. The blood stops flowing to the parts of him that made him the Golden Prince. When he wakes up, he is different. The pain in his leg is excruciating. An ulcer bursts. A wound that will never heal. It will smell. It will throb. It will drive him mad for the rest of his life. But the wound in his mind is deeper. The paranoia wakes up. The cruelty wakes up. The tyrant opens his eyes. News of the fall reaches Queen Anne Boleyn. She is pregnant again. It is her last chance. The shock hits her. Gasp. Her body reacts. The womb contracts. 5 days later, she miscarries. It is a boy. A shapeless, lifeless boy. The savior prince. Lost. Henry comes to her room. He does not hold her. He does not weep with her. He looks at the bed. He looks at the blood. I see that God will not give me male children, he says. His voice is cold. It is the voice of a stranger. He turns and walks out. He leaves her alone with the wreckage of her hope. The swan has sung her last song. Now, the hunting begins. Thomas Cromwell, the man who dissolved the abbeys, now dissolves the queen. He gathers the whispers. He gathers the lies. Adultery, incest, witchcraft, plots, to kill the king. It doesn't matter if it's true. It only matters if it's useful. May 2nd. Anne is watching a tennis match. Thwack, thwack, thwack. The sound of the ball hitting the racket. The message comes. Come. She is taken to a barge. It is broad daylight. The barge travels down the Thames. From Greenwich to the Tower, she passes under London Bridge. She sees the heads of traders on spikes. She approaches the Traitors' Gate. The water laps against the stone stairs. Slap, slap, slap. Dark water, oily, cold. She steps out. She falls to her knees on the wet stones. O Lord, help me, as I am guiltless of this whereof I am accused. Her voice echoes off the damp walls, but the walls do not care. She is taken to the Queen's house, the same rooms where she stayed before her coronation. The irony is sharp as a knife. 3 years ago, she was the triumph. Now, she is the prisoner. The trial is a formality. Her brother, George, is condemned. Her friends are condemned. She is condemned to be burned or beheaded at the king's pleasure. Henry, in his mercy, chooses the head, but he grants her a final favor. He sends for a swordsman, not an English headsman with a clumsy axe. An axe is messy, an axe hacks. He sends to Calais, to France, for the master of the sword, Jean Rambaud. He is an artist of death. Anne waits. She sits in her room in the tower. She can hear the hammers building the scaffold on Tower Green. Bang, bang, bang. She jokes with her ladies. She puts her hands around her neck. I have a little neck, she says. It will be easy. She laughs, a high, brittle laugh. Is it hysteria, or is it peace? She prays. She takes the sacrament. May 19th, 1536. The morning is gray. The mist hangs over the river. She dresses, not in black, in gray damask, with a mantle of ermine. She wears a hood, but she leaves her neck bare. She walks out. She climbs the scaffold. Step, step, step. The straw is yellow against the gray wood. The crowd is silent. Cromwell is there. The Duke of Suffolk is there. Henry's illegitimate son, Fitzroy, is there, watching. Anne speaks. Good Christian people, I am come hither to die. She does not curse the king. She praises him. A more gentle nor merciful prince was there never. Why? To save her daughter, to save Elizabeth. If she angers the king now, he might kill the child too. She is playing the game to the very last second. She takes off her mantle. She kneels. There is no block. With a sword, you do not use a block. You kneel upright. She is blindfolded. A linen cloth. She cannot see the world. She can only hear it. She hears the wind in the trees. She hears the breathing of the crowd. She hears her own heart. Thump, 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 thump. She prays aloud. To Jesus Christ I commend my soul. Lord Jesus, receive my soul. She repeats it. Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus. The swordsman stands behind her. He is wearing simple clothes. He does not look like a monster. He wants to be kind. He wants it to be quick. He speaks to his assistant. Boy, fetch me my sword. He says it loudly. Anne turns her head towards the sound. She thinks the sword is far away. She relaxes. It is a trick, a distraction. The sword is already in his hand. He moves, silent as a cat. The steel flashes in the gray light. Whoosh! It is the sound of air being sliced. There is no thud. There is just a release. The head falls. The swan is gone. The cannon fires at the tower. Boom! The sound rolls down the river. It reaches the king, who is waiting in a forest, dressed for the hunt. He hears the boom. He checks his horse. The deed is done, he says. Uncouple the hounds. He rides away. He does not look back. He rides towards a new wife. towards Jane. Jane Seymour, the Phoenix. She is everything Anne was not. Anne was dark. Jane is pale. Anne was loud. Jane is quiet. Anne was French. Jane is English. Anne was perseverance. Jane is bound to obey. They marry within days. A quiet wedding. No gold cloth, no fountains of wine, just white satin and whispers. Henry needs peace. He needs silence, and Jane gives it to him. She moves through the palaces like a ghost. She speaks only when spoken to. She reconciles Henry with his daughter Mary. She is kind, but she is boring. And perhaps boring is what England needs right now. A year passes. Chen Wubai Senshi. Jane is pregnant. This time, there are no astrologers, no grand proclamations, just a quiet hope. She craves quails. Henry orders quails from Calais. He is tender with her. He is terrified. October comes. She goes into labor at Hampton Court Palace. It is a difficult labor. 2 days, 3 nights. The baby is stuck. The doctors are worried. They ask the king, if we have to choose, the mother or the child. Henry answers, save the child. Wives are easily found. It is a brutal logic, but it is the logic of a king who has destroyed everything for an heir. Finally, on Street Edward's Eve, the child is born. A cry. Wah! It is a strong cry. It is a boy, a living, breathing, healthy boy. Edward. The news explodes out of the palace. Bonfires are lit. Bells are rung. Wine flows in the conduits. A prince. A prince. Henry weeps. He holds the baby. He looks at the tiny face. He sees the future of the Tudor dynasty. He sees the justification for all the blood, all the pain, all the sin. It was worth it, he thinks. God has forgiven me. He is ecstatic. He forgets the mother. But the mother, Jane, is lying in the great bed. She is exhausted. She has done her duty. She has provided the heir. She should be recovering. But there is a shadow in the room. Puerperal fever. Childbed fever. It starts slowly. A headache. A thirst. Then, the shivering. Chatter. 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 Her teeth rattle. The bed shakes. Then, the heat. The fever rises. It is a fire that starts in the womb and consumes the body. She is delirious. She sees ghosts. Does she see Anne Boleyn standing at the foot of the bed, holding her head? Does she see Catherine of Aragon praying? She mutters, "The quail, the quail." Henry comes to her. He is frightened. Jane? She does not know him. Her eyes are glassy. The doctors bleed her. They give her potions of ground pearls and unicorn's horn, but they cannot stop the infection. The rot is inside. For 12 days, she fights. Or perhaps she doesn't fight. Perhaps she just fades, like a candle burning down to the socket. The palace is quiet. The joy of the birth is dampened by the shadow of death. The prince is in the nursery, surrounded by wet nurses and rockers. The queen is in the dark. Henry sits by her side. He holds her hand. It is hot, dry. He realizes he is losing her. The only wife who gave him a son. The only wife who never shouted at him. The only wife who was truly perfect. Because she didn't live long enough to be anything else. October 24th. The breathing changes. Rattle. The death rattle. The fluid in the lungs. Henry stands up. He cannot watch. He leaves the room. He goes to his solar. He looks out at the garden. The autumn leaves are falling. Red, gold, brown. Flutter, drift, drop. He hears the silence fall over the Queen's chamber. He knows Jane Seymour is dead. The phoenix gave birth to the bird of fire and then consumed herself in the act. Henry collapses. This grief is real, or at least, he believes it is. He wears black. He shuts himself away. He orders a magnificent funeral. Jane is embalmed. She is dressed in cloth of gold. She lies in state at Hampton Court. Thousands of candles burn around her hearse. Flicker, flicker, flicker. Henry does not attend the funeral. Kings do not attend funerals. But he orders that when he dies, he is to be buried next to her. Not next to Catherine. Not next to Anne. Next to Jane. Why? Because she is the true wife. The wife who died for him. The wife who gave him the son. She is preserved in his memory as the perfect woman. Young, pale, submissive, dead. She will never grow old. She will never argue. She will never betray him. She is safe. The gilded cage is now a tomb. Henry is alone again. But now he has the boy. Prince Edward, the precious jewel. Henry dotes on him. He protects him with a mania. The nursery is scrubbed 3 times a day. No one can approach the prince without a signed warrant. The boy is kept in a bubble of sterility. Henry is terrified. He has lost 3 mothers. He cannot lose the son. He sits in the nursery, watching the baby sleep. He is fat now. He is limping. He looks at the baby. "You are my immortality," he whispers. But the baby is frail. The Tudor blood is thin. Henry doesn't see it. He sees a giant. He sees himself. Let us pull back from the nursery window. Let the image of the sleeping prince and the grieving king fade. The night closes in on Hampton Court. The ghosts are gathering. Anne in the tower. Jane in the tomb. Catherine in the grave at Peterborough. They are silent now. The struggle is over for them. They have passed into the long sleep. Let their stories settle in your mind like dust, layer upon layer. Soft, gray, heavy. You are not part of the struggle. You are the observer. You are safe in the future. The sword of Calais is rusted. The fever is gone. There is only the peace of the night. Feel the weight of your own body. It is a good weight, a living weight. You are warm. You are whole. Let the darkness hold you. Let the river of time wash over you. Flow, 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 washing away the ambition, washing away the grief, leaving only the silence, the deep, restful silence of history. Sleep. The king is weeping. The queen is sleeping. And you are drifting. The phoenix is dead. The cradle has a prince, but the king has no wife. The court is quiet. The mourning period is long. But a king cannot mourn forever. A king needs allies. Thomas Cromwell, the architect of the Reformation, looks at the map of Europe. He sees threats. France and Spain might unite against England. He needs a friend. He looks to Germany, to the Protestant princes, to the Duchy of Cleves. There are 2 sisters there, Anne and Amelia. Henry is not interested in politics. He is interested in beauty. He sends his painter. Hans Holbein, the younger, the master of realism, the man who can trap a soul in oil paint. "Go," Henry says. "Paint them. Bring me their faces. And do not flatter them." Holbein travels to Düren. Imagine the studio. It is cold. The light is gray. Anne of Cleves stands still. She is 24. She is dressed in the heavy, unfashionable clothes of the German court, a high headdress, layers of wool. She does not speak English. She does not play the lute. She knows only needlework and card games. She stands patiently. Holbein mixes his paints. Grind, mix, tap. The smell of turpentine and linseed oil fills the room. He looks at her. He sees a pleasant face, calm eyes, a gentle mouth. He paints her, brushstroke by brushstroke. He smooths out the skin. He adds a glow to the eyes. He creates a masterpiece. He creates a lie, not a big lie, but a polite one. He brings the portrait back to London. Henry looks at it. He falls in love with the paint. "She is beautiful," he says. "I will have her." The treaty is signed. Anne travels to England. It is winter. 1539. Henry is impatient. He wants to surprise her. He wants to play the game of courtly love again. He rides to Rochester in disguise. He bursts into her room, wearing a mask and a cloak. He expects her to swoon, to recognize his majesty through the disguise. But Anne, poor Anne, she is watching a bull baiting out the window. She is eating her dinner. She sees a fat old man in a mask bursting in. She is confused. She is polite, but indifferent. She turns back to the window. Henry is crushed. His vanity is pierced. He leaves the room. He rips off the mask. "I like her not," he growls. "She is nothing so fair as she hath been reported. She is a Flanders mare. It is cruel. It is unfair. But it is the verdict of a king whose ego is more fragile than glass. But he must marry her. The treaty is signed. To refuse would be war. They marry. January 6th, 1540. "Bad smells," Henry complains. "I cannot perform my duty. The marriage is unconsummated." Henry feels trapped. He feels old. He looks at Anne and sees a reminder of his age. He wants to escape, and escape is easy when you are the supreme head of the church. 6 months later, the marriage is annulled. But here is the twist. Anne of Cleves is smart. She does not fight. She does not argue like Catherine. She does not flirt like Anne Boleyn. She agrees. "Yes, Your Majesty. Whatever you say." Henry is relieved. He is grateful. He gives her a title, the King's beloved sister. He gives her Hever Castle, the Boleyn, home. He gives her a massive allowance. She retires. Imagine her life. She sits by the fire. She plays cards with her ladies. She drinks wine. She learns English. She visits the court occasionally, wearing new dresses. She sees Henry, and she curtsies. They are friends. She survived. She is the only one who won the Game of Thrones. She kept her head, and she kept her comfort. Let the image of Anne of Cleves settle in your mind. A warm, comfortable, slightly boring peace. The peace of acceptance. Sometimes, the best move is to fold your cards. But Henry is not ready to fold. He is 49. He is fat. His leg is rotting. He wants to be young again. And he finds youth in the darkest possible place. Catherine Howard, the rose without a thorn. She is 17, or 19, or 15. No one is sure. She is a cousin of Anne Boleyn, a Howard. She is tiny, vivacious, giggly. She is not smart. She is not political. She is just alive. Henry sees her, and the years fall away. He calls her his very jewel of womanhood. He marries her. July 28th, 1540. The same day Thomas Cromwell is executed. Henry blames Cromwell for the Cleves marriage. The wedding is small. Henry dotes on her. He buys her diamonds, pearls, furs. He pinches her cheek. He sits her on his knee. It is grotesque. The old lion and the little lamb. But Catherine is bored. She is a teenager, married to a sick old man. At night, the king sleeps. He snores. Catherine is awake. She wants to dance. She wants to laugh. She looks at the courtiers. She sees Thomas Culpeper, young, handsome, a favorite of the king. She sees Francis Dereham, a man from her past. She begins a dance of death. It is not a political plot. It is just foolishness. Secret meetings. Creak. Tiptoe. Creak. Walking down the long corridors at night. Whispers in the stairwell. Sweetheart. Darling. Letters written in clumsy handwriting. I would you were with me now. She gives Culpeper a gold chain. She gives Dereham a job as her secretary. She thinks she is safe. She thinks the king is too old, too blind to notice. She forgets that the walls have ears. She forgets that she is standing in the shadow of the axe. The year passes. 1541. Henry is happy. He believes he has finally found the perfect wife. He orders a special mass to thank God for the good life he leads and hopes to lead with Catherine. The very next day, the bubble bursts. Archbishop Cranmer finds out. The rumors, the history with Derham, the meetings with Culpeper. Cranmer is terrified. He cannot tell the king to his face. It might kill him. So he writes a note. He leaves it on the king's pew in the chapel. Henry walks in. He picks up the paper. Russell. He reads it. At first, he does not believe it. "It is a lie," he shouts. "She is pure." But he orders an investigation. And the truth comes out, like pus from a wound. The servants talk. The men talk. Catherine is arrested. She is at Hampton Court. She escapes her guards. She runs down the gallery. Pant, pant, pant. She is running towards the chapel, where Henry is at Mass. She wants to beg him. She wants to hug his knees. She screams, "Henry! Henry!" The guards catch her. They drag her back. Her screams echo in the haunted gallery. Legend says you can still hear them today. Henry does not come out. He never sees her again. He sits in his room. He cries, not for her, for himself, for the illusion that was shattered. They are all whores, he weeps. The trial is swift. Derham and Culpeper are executed. Catherine is taken to the Tower. February 1542. She is terrified. She is just a girl. She asks for a favor. She asks for the block to be brought to her room the night before. Why? So she can practice. She wants to die gracefully. She wants to get it right. Imagine the scene. A teenage girl in a stone room, kneeling before a block of wood, placing her head on it. "Is this right?" she asks the empty air. "Will it hurt?" It is the most heartbreaking image in Tudor history. The morning comes. She is led out. She is pale. She is shaking. But she walks. She says her words. She admits she was sinful. She kneels. The straw is yellow. The sky is gray. The axe falls. Thud. The rose is cut. Henry is alone again. He is older now. Much older. The last spark of youth has been extinguished by the blood of a child. He is a winter king now. Cold. Hard. Bitter. The leg ulcer throbs. Throb. 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 It is the only constant companion he has left. He sits by the fire. He looks at the empty chair opposite him. 6 wives. 2 divorced. 2 beheaded. 1 died. 1 survived. So far. He is tired. He needs a nurse. He needs a mother. He needs a friend. He needs the last one. Catherine Parr. Let the scene fade. Let the scream in the gallery echo into silence. Let the practice block be put away. The tragedy is done. Now comes the long, slow fade. You are safe from the axe. You are safe from the intrigue. You are just a witness. Feel the comfort of your own safety. You can turn off the history. You can close the book. The king is just a story, a ghost in a painting. He cannot hurt you. Let the darkness of the tower dissolve. Replace it with a soft, warm light. The light of a bedside lamp. Peaceful, steady. The snow is falling outside again, covering the tracks, covering the sorrow. Breathe in the quiet. Breathe out the drama. You are ready for the end. You are ready for the sleep of the just. Drift, float, sleep. The screams of Catherine Howard have faded. The tears of the old king have dried. We are entering the final chapter. It is the year 1543. Henry is 52, but he looks 70. He is massive. He weighs nearly 300 pounds. His waist is 54 inches. He has to be hoisted onto his horse with a crane. He has to be moved around the palace in a tram, a primitive wheelchair lined with velvet. He is a mountain of flesh and pain. The leg ulcer is open. It smells. Imagine the smell. Decay. Sickness. Masked by heavy musk and cloves. His courtiers try not to flinch when they are near him. He is lonely. He is terrified of being alone. He marries for the 6th time. Catherine Parr. She is not a princess. She is not a teenager. She is a widow. Twice over. She is 31. Intelligent. Kind. Protestant. She does not marry him for love. She marries him because it is God's will, and because you do not say no to the king. But she brings something new to the palace. Warmth. She is not just a wife. She is a nurse. She knows how to dress his leg. She knows how to soothe his tempers. Hush, she says. Hush. Now, her voice is low and calm. She brings the family together. She brings Mary, Elizabeth, and Edward back to court. Imagine the scene. Christmas at Hampton Court. The old king sitting in his chair. Around him, his 3 children. Mary, the serious Catholic. Elizabeth, the bright-eyed firebrand. Edward, the serious little scholar. They are playing music. They are reading. For a moment, it looks like a normal family. Henry looks at them. He sees his legacy. He feels a flicker of peace. But the lion is not dead yet. He wants one last roar. He wants France again. It is the obsession of his life. Etienne Wubai. He invades. Imagine the absurdity. A crippled, obese king leading an army. He is winched onto his war horse. He wears armor made for a giant. He rides to Boulogne. The cannons fire. Boom, boom, boom. The walls of Boulogne fall. It is a victory. A final, useless victory. He rides into the city. He feels the glory one last time. But it bankrupts the country. It exhausts him. He comes home to die. The winter of 1547. January. The king is at Whitehall. He is dying. He lies in the great bed. The room is hot. The fires are stoked high. The tapestries block out the winter light. Henry is fading. His kidneys are failing. His heart is failing. The poison is in his blood. He drifts in and out of consciousness. Float, sink, float. What does he see in the shadows? Does he see Wolsey? Had I but served God? Does he see more? I die the king's good servant, but God's first. Does he see Anne, laughing, holding her head? Does he see Catherine of Aragon, praying for him? Does he feel guilt? Probably not. Kings do not feel guilt. They feel necessity. He believes he did what he had to do to save England, to secure the succession. He calls for Cranmer, his archbishop, his friend, the man who made it all possible. Cranmer rides from Croydon. He arrives. He runs to the bedside. Henry is unable to speak. His throat is closed. His eyes are dim. Cranmer takes the king's hand. It is a massive hand, swollen, cold. Your Majesty, Cranmer whispers. Do you put your faith in Christ? Henry cannot talk, but he squeezes Cranmer's hand. Squeeze. A faint pressure. The last act of the king. A squeeze of faith? Or just a muscle spasm? We will never know. The breathing stops. Rattle. Silence. 2 a.m. January 28th, 1547. The king is dead. The lion is dead. The gilded cage is open. Silence falls over the palace. For 3 days, they keep it secret. They have to secure the prince. Edward is only 9. A child king. The sharks are circling. The uncles. The counselors. The power grab begins. But Henry is done with power. His body is embalmed. It is placed in a lead coffin, heavy, sealed. It is placed on a carriage. The funeral procession begins. From London to Windsor, It is a long, slow march. Tramp, tramp, tramp. Thousands of mourners, black robes, wax torches. They stop at Sion Abbey, a ruined abbey, one that Henry destroyed. The coffin rests there for the night. Legend says that the coffin burst, that the dogs came and licked the king's blood, just as the prophets predicted. A dark story. True? Perhaps not, but fitting. The final revenge of the abbeys. They arrive at Windsor Castle, St. George's Chapel. The vault is opened. He is not buried alone. He is buried with Jane Seymour, the true wife. The coffin is lowered, thud, down into the dark, beside the dust of the woman who gave him the sun. The stone slab is slid into place. Grind, clunk. Henry VIII, Jane Seymour, together in the dark. And finally, silence. The silence of the tomb. The noise of the rain is over. The shouting, the music, the cannon fire, the screams, all gone. Only the dust remains. But above the ground, the story continues. Edward dies young. The boy king fades away. Mary reigns. She burns the Protestants. She dies sad and childless. And then Elizabeth, the unwanted daughter, the girl whose birth was a disappointment. She steps out of the shadows. She puts on the crown. She is her father's daughter. She has his red hair. She has his lion heart. But she has her mother's brain, Anne's brain. She rules for 45 years, the golden age. She heals the wounds Henry made. She brings the peace he promised, but never delivered. The irony is perfect. The son he killed for died. The daughter he ignored saved the world. History has a sense of humor. Now, let us zoom out. Leave the tomb at Windsor. Leave the palaces. Float up above England. It is night. The island is dark, dotted with the orange lights of fires in the villages. The abbeys are ruins, but the grass is growing over them. The wounds are healing. Time heals everything. Henry is just a name now, a story we tell to scare children, a song we sing. Green sleeves. The pain is gone. The fear is gone. Only the sleep remains. You are floating in that sleep, the sleep of history. It is a deep, velvet ocean. You can let go now. You don't have to carry the weight of the crown. You don't have to worry about the succession. You are just you, safe, warm, alive. The clock on the wall ticks. Tick, tock, tick, tock. It is the only sound, the heartbeat of the room. Let it lull you. Henry is sleeping. Jane is sleeping. Anne is sleeping. The whole court is sleeping. Join them, not in death, but in rest. The sweet, restorative rest of the living. Close your eyes. The book is finished. The candle is out. The door is closed. Good night, King. Good night, Queen. Good night, listener.